I saw the message in the chat about Maplestory. What happened with that? It was very simple. So whenever a company contact me and ask me to make a sponsored video, I explain to them that making a sponsored video is a risk for me because audience trust is a currency. You build it up by doing things that show you are trustable, and you spend it if you need to do things that are risky or people won't like. Everyone supports the underdog up until the underdog becomes successful. Then most people don't continue to support you. I had a lot of people, and still have a lot of people, that support me making the videos that I enjoy. But once I found a level of success, they no longer supported that. So when companies contact me and say, hey, make a sponsored video, I have to weigh up the benefit that I would gain from the video against the amount of audience trust I would lose from making the video. And the truth is, I don't want to lose any audience trust from making any videos, because to me, if I say something and people immediately turn around and go, I don't believe you, then what's the point of me making videos at all? At that point, I'm just making it to generate income, instead of making it because I believe I have something relevant or important or funny to say. So when I was contacted by a company who represented Nexon to make, it wasn't Nexon, you never deal directly with the companies. That's a lie. You very rarely deal directly with the companies. I have only dealt with a couple of companies directly. Jagex for RuneScape, they're lovely to work with. ArenaNet for Guild Wars 2, they were great to work with. And Albion Online, they were good to work with as well. And NordVPN and GamerSupps, they were also cool to work with. GamerSupps, I still work with because I like the product. But when I was contacted by a company representing Nexon who asked me to make a review of Maplestory, I said, the only way this is going to work is if I put it in the worst MMO ever series and you effectively sponsor your own episode, which is what Albion Online did. And I had genuinely made the episode before Albion came to me with the sponsorship. So I said, hey, I'm just going to effectively take your money, change nothing, and say you sponsored it. And they went, okay, do that, which was fine. But the company representing Maplestory and Nexon turned around and said, no, we don't want you to do that. We want you to make a video that's positive and reviewing it and basically saying, should you play Maplestory? And I said, well, I don't really have a series that would fit into. I have the worst MMO ever series, and I have a couple of series of 100-hour ever, but I don't feel that that video is representative of my content. And they turned around and they went, okay, fine, put it in the worst MMO ever thing, but you have to send us a review copy of the video. So I've made the video. I thought it was fair. I thought it was funny, and I sent it to them to review. And I got a response. And they said, hey, Josh, the way you've played the game is not the way we would anticipate a new player to play the game. Could you please re-edit your video to make it look like you did something first that you actually did second, which would have made your experience smoother? And I responded to them saying, I don't know if you know this, but I actually read every single line of a contract that I get sent. I am fastidious with contracts. And one of the clauses in your contract is that neither of us in this exchange would do something that affects the integrity of the other. It's actually a clause in a contract. I literally pointed out to them with the line and spacing. And I'm saying, what you're asking me to do right now is alter my review to present an unreal version of events, which would be damaging to my integrity because I am no longer showing the audience the experience that I had. I'm showing them the experience that you hoped I would have. Now, the truth is that I actually said a hell of a lot of good stuff about Maplestory. The music in that game is incredible. It's really good. I played the Kane storyline, which is like this really edgy edgelord. And the storyline is, and it's freaking brilliant, genuinely. You are this low-level assassin working for a kind of shady government organization. And what they do is, in the storyline, you have your memories taken away from you and held. And only when you have paid off your debts to the government do you get your memories back. And the whole interesting plot line was once you've paid off your debt, what's to stop them just wiping your memory of knowing that you've done that and demanding that you work for them more? And the whole opening plot was you breaking into a government facility and discovering that there's been this memory theft. And you've been working for them for years and years and years and years and years, having paid off your debt multiple times, and they keep lying to you. It's people saying, what game is this? It is the opening of the Kane story in Maplestory. Anyway, I really liked it. And then you leave the opening and you go into the general game of Maplestory, and it got a bit more overwhelming to me. The cash shop was a bit egregious. The music keeps being good. The opening sections are a bit more difficult than they need to be. It was fun. It was good. It was a sci-fi story. But Kane is not meant to be the character you start as. It's meant to be a more high-level character. Now, there's nothing to stop a new player choosing Kane. I was a new player. I chose Kane. It was difficult. I struggled, but I loved it. And that's when I said, hey, the Kane's tutorial does not cover a lot of the basics that a player is expected to know. And their argument was, Kane will not be the first character someone chooses. And my argument was, I was the new player, I chose Kane. This can happen, this is going to happen. If anything, take my feedback and use it to improve the game. But they went back and forth, and eventually they said, look, Josh, if you do not re-edit your video to make it look like something different, we will not pay you. And I responded, that's absolutely fine. I will not re-edit the video. I'm sorry we couldn't make this work. I'll move on. Then I contacted, because I was proud of the video I'd made. Then I contacted the people that I was working with. Now, you have to remember that agencies take a cut of the money that they bring in. So a company pays an agency some money, the agency pay the content creator, but the agency keep a small amount of cash. If that transaction never happens, the agency have nothing to keep. So I had no direct contact with Nexon, but what I did was I actually contacted... Let me turn this background music down. There we go. I actually contacted the agency. Now, the agency have nothing to gain from me releasing the video without being paid, because then Nexon isn't paying them. They're getting nothing. But I contacted the agency and I said, look, I need you to ask your legal team something. What would happen if I just released this video anyway? Because I was proud of it. I know it's going to be an advert for Maplestory regardless, but because, you know, people see my video, go and play the game. What would happen if I just released it? And they responded saying, hey, the content that you have created in the process of making this video was created for us as part of our agreement. If you release it now, that is against contract. And I checked, and the contract did say that media paid for would be not, it's a general contract, it's not owned by them, but I can't release it and then take it down. That's actually a general way to do it. But they basically said, no, you can't release this video. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't want to get into a legal battle with them, so I just didn't. So the reason that we don't have a Maplestory video is the agency, and I think they were acting on advice from Nexon, were not happy that my video presented their game in a way that they felt was untrue, that ironically was 100% true, and so I wasn't allowed to then release it. If I make a video on Maplestory, it will be in the future, but I will have to remake the video, which is a shame because I think it was actually a very praise-heavy video. Josh, if they don't pay you, there's no consideration as there's no contract. You can do whatever you want. Ah, I understand that. They never paid. I signed the contract. I didn't deliver the goods. They never paid. However, the contract does still say that any media made for them is made for them. Now, the point is, if I release the video, they still get advertising. Even if I am 100% in the right, the law does not favor who is right. The law favors who is wealthiest and who has the time and the resources to engage in a long drawn-out legal battle. I don't fancy going up against Nexon. They're a pretty big company. They're a bit bigger than me. I think that Nexon would probably be able to pull me into an extremely long legal battle and drain me of resources before I was even be able to touch their lawyers. So, just didn't bother. It's not worth it. Not worth it at all. When you get involved in legal battles, only lawyers win. So that's why Maplestory doesn't have a video, because they were afraid of me putting out a video on my own style. And that was actually part of the... In fact, this is interesting. That one experience was a catalyst for me changing how I worked with companies. When a company approaches me now and asks for a sponsored video, I say to them, this is going to go in the contract. I will produce a video in my style to the best of my ability, and I will be as integral as I possibly can. I will be honest, I will be genuine, I'll be fair. If you are not happy with the video because you believe it portrays your game in a negative light, you still pay me. If you believe I am lying in the video, you don't pay me. Whether it goes out or not. If you believe it is an honest video, we still get paid. Now, there have only been a couple of companies that have accepted that. Jagex was one of them. Jagex watch my stuff. They know that I'm going to be fair, and they went, okay, do this. If we use the video, great. If we don't use the video, we still pay you. And they used the video. That was my review of the Jagex RuneScape 3 mobile client, which actually pointed out a couple of flaws with the client, which they fixed very fast. So decent Jagex. ArenaNet with Guild Wars 2. What it is, genuinely, it's companies that are confident with their product. Good Old Games. I work very closely with Good Old Games, and I work very closely with GamerSupps. Both those companies are extremely confident in their product, without a doubt. So GOG and GamerSupps. They are the people that I like working with. I've got direct contact with them on Discord. We chat with them. I can talk with them whenever I want. They're genuinely good people. I like that. So GamerSupps and Good Old Games, that's a good combination. In fact, I'll be working with Good Old Games on a game coming out soon. And I'll be drinking GamerSupps the entire time while I'm doing it.